designs to custom enhancement, we deliver results. Late Model Racecraft. We talking or we racing?
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Yes, we still build 16-year-old vehicles like the one standing behind me. Mr. Simonek, all the way from Connecticut, was looking for a car to purchase, had not even purchased a vehicle, talked to our sales staff, and he was interested in a C6 Z06, 427 cubic inches from the factory. Our sales staff helped him locate one, which I actually think he found this one standing behind me here in Houston. So we went and picked the vehicle up, had it transported to our shop, to give it a once-over before he purchased it. He flew into town, wanted to look the car over as well, give it one test drive before we take it apart and do our package to it like always. So Mr. Simonek decided to go with our 700 horsepower package, which is standing behind me. It is a complete heads and cam package, guys. And this is a 16-year-old vehicle. So 2008 C6 Z06. It's crazy to say that we're still working on cars like that because all y'all see is us building these brand new 2023, 2024 C8 Corvettes all day long. But yes, we still work on the C6 platform, especially the LS7 and the LS9 platform. We build a lot of these weekly and monthly, right? So he wanted one that wasn't beat up. He didn't want high mileage on it. So one behind us has 20,000 miles on the odometer. Black is definitely the hardest color to keep clean, as most of you car guys know. Scratches show up very easily on it. But once we looked the car over, made sure everything mechanically was sound on it, he purchased it. And as always, our 700 horsepower package is what we recommend to all of our LS7 owners out there. It is a complete heads and cam package. No, all honesty though, the car is super clean, guys. Most 16-year-old vehicles, especially Corvettes, even the newer ones, the armrest is where everyone puts their arms. You can see how good the leather still is, believe it or not. You can see a little bit of waves in it, but normally these things are shredded, really within 5 years. These things are normally shredded. We installed MGW Shifter in it with the new shifter knob. As y'all can see the interior as well, same with the seats. Normally the seats are all torn apart on each side, getting in and out. There's one little blemish right here, but besides that, the first time I drove this car, even stock, I mean, it felt pretty damn new and felt good, nice and tight. So us taking it apart, I was very confident in doing our complete 700 horsepower package, which is a complete heads cam, keeping it naturally aspirated as GM wanted this car to be. Came from the factory with 427 cubic inches, flywheel right over 500, came with 505 flywheel horsepower. It's crazy to think 16 years ago, this car was made with more horsepower than a new C8 Stingray coming off the showroom floor today. It's pretty wild. But we take the 500 horsepower, we boast it to over 700 flywheel horsepower. So these LS7s were known for having valve problems back in the day. Everyone, even stock cars, would just drop valves from the factory. So the main reason why we do heads and cams instead of a cam only is to replace the guides and fix the guide issue, make sure all the valves are good. And of course, doing the complete cam kit, it includes valve springs, retainers, and hardened push rods as well. And while we're doing all that, depending on what kind of fuel they're running, we can mill the cylinder head to get the compression exactly how we want it. Same with the camshaft, depending on what the customer is doing with it. We custom spec every single camshaft per what the customer plans to do with the car. This car is going to be a weekend toy. He wants it to drive nice, run nice, and as always, I have to keep it reliable. So it has our complete, it's like our stage 2 camshaft is what we call it. As y'all can see, intake manifold has the MSD intake with the 103 throttle body and the carbon fiber Corsa Cold Air intake on it. As always, 2-inch American Racing headers all the way back to the stock mufflers, and an ATI 10% underdrive balancer on it as well. So I know it's a 16-year-old car, but everything on it looks fucking beautiful. And when we take it apart, we are essentially replacing everything and checking everything minus the short block. So the crank, rods, and pistons are still factory. Everything else we've looked over, made sure it is nice and good, as well as the clutch. So usually older vehicles, we replace the clutch and the slave cylinder at the same time, making sure the hydraulics are all good. But those of you out there looking to purchase a car that don't have one yet, this is a good platform to buy. Even if it is a 100,000 mile car, we can completely transform this into something that you're looking at right now. We can freshen the engine, freshen the clutch, freshen the transmission, put some new coilovers on it, front and rear, and you can have a car that runs and drives phenomenal. These things with the TR6060 transmission in it, the power to weight ratio in this car, with this thing making almost 600 rear wheel horsepower right now on pump gas, is so much fun to drive. So as always, guys, when we add more horsepower and torque to it, we always put a better tire on the back of it. Mr. Semenek is actually gonna come into town, I think tomorrow. He's gonna test drive it. He's gonna take it to Austin for the weekend. I don't know if he's going to meet his, hang out with his parents or some friends, but he's gonna take it for the weekend and enjoy it. So what we did, we have the Toyos on the back of it, so he has traction. We put the carbon fiber rear spoiler on it for him. When he gets back, he's gonna drop it back off on Monday for us to complete it. It'll be good, that way he can put miles on it, enjoy it. When he brings it back to us on Monday, we're gonna put a carbon fiber front splitter on it and do the full ceramic coating and PPF on it. So the black looks good now. It's gonna look even better next week right before we ship it home to him. So I'm gonna be done rambling right now. I'm gonna hop in it and go have some fun. That camshaft in it. Now he pulls into any parking lot, everyone knows he's got something done to it. And what makes it even better is we have the dual mode to make it loud or quiet, all from a touch of a button. So the muffler's shut, sounds like a stock car on the highway, and then you pull into a parking lot and you just boom, hit the button one time and the valve's open. That's literally rolling into it at 2,000 RPMs. The power band on this thing likes to be 3,500 and up with the camshaft and the cylinder heads on this thing. With the Toyos on it though, we can actually turn traction control off, hit it in first gear, and it will spin the tires, but you'll stay in your lane. So much fun to drive. Like I said, the TR6060 transmission with this shifter in it, in my opinion, and the clutch pedal we put in these things make it so you get stuck in traffic, it is not killing your leg. I know I have bad knees from playing sports, so I always get mad sitting in traffic with manual cars with crazy clutches in them. So I wouldn't want that for myself, so I don't install them in cars that don't need them. If it's obviously a 1,500 horsepower car, well, usually the clutch will be a little bit more aggressive, but this thing with 600 rear wheel horsepower, it still drives like a stock car. The clutch pedal still feels like stock, and with this short throw shifter in it, it makes it so much easier to bank gears in it. Now, if it was my car, I would no lift shift it, but it's not mine, so I lift, grab the next gear, which I'm about to go on the street and go do. now we get to have a little bit more fun in Chris's C6 Z06. Again, with the camshaft we selected for this particular build, you can see I'm at 50 miles an hour, 6 gear, 1,000 RPMs, no cam surge, no bucking. We want this car to drive nice, as close to factory as possible. Obviously the main thing being at idle, with the camshaft sounding as good as it does, you feel the car rocking at idle. But besides that, normal driving, she drives wonderful. With the dual mode mufflers, we can make it loud or quiet on the highway. Right now I have it open, but we can close it and it literally sounds like stock. And if y'all watching my previous videos talking about the old school cars like the C6 Z06 or the C6 ZR1, the power to weight ratio in these cars and the way that they're geared with the TR60 transmission in the rear gear, they 60 to 130, believe it or not guys, quicker, if not the same or quicker than some of the supercharged cars that we build. Most people back in the day when we started modding these things, racing them against other cars, people would always think there's nitrous hitting on it or something like that just because they run so well. And I'm gonna make a U-turn here in a second and try to give you all a display of it. Again, this is a 16-year-old car, kept in great condition. The brakes on it feel wonderful. Obviously, we replaced the clutch because we knew we were going to add more horsepower to it. But the shocks feel good. Nothing feels blown out. Again, we looked at everything before we worked on it. All in all, a great car. But as I previously stated, if you are looking to buy one, or if you do have one of these with higher mileage on them, yes, we will still build them. We will just recommend freshening up the engine, obviously the clutch, and depending on how many miles on it, maybe even the transmission, shocks, brakes, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when we do finish it, you're gonna have a badass weekend toy, or even a road race car, because this car, you could hop in it the way she sits right now and go hit a road course and absolutely have a blast. But my favorite part is doing this stuff, because these things rip. And again, I'm not gonna no lift shift it because it's not my car, but second gear, go to about, I usually go to about 4,000 RPMs. That never gets old. If that doesn't get your heart rate going, I don't know what will. 3 pedals, naturally aspirated, 427 cubic inches, raw American muscle, and you feel like you're driving it. And again, even though the car is 16 years old, it still handles phenomenal. Toyos on the back of it. I had traction control off in second gear. Y'all saw it just hooked and went, and I banged the gears. Oh. Again, this is it's a hard car not to want to buy if you have the money to do it. Same with the LS9 platform when it comes to the C6 ZR1. Both of these platforms, when they first came out, in my opinion, were kind of ahead of their time. They crushed a lot of the other platforms out there, and still to this day, I love to build them. So those of you out there that do have one or thinking about buying one, please contact our sales staff or go to our website, fill out an inquiry. We offer several different packages for them, but if it's an LS7, this is definitely what I recommend for you. If it's an LS9, then we have a lot of different packages to choose from, depending on how much horsepower you want. So go to our website, fill out an inquiry, or contact our sales staff. If you don't have one and you need to find a car, we can help you find a car just like this one and build it for you. That's why you get a turnkey car being shipped back to you, already modded, ready to go, and enjoy. Until next time, guys.